Shall we talk about Chase credit card application? And most importantly, I want to give you some secrets you must know to get approved the first time around. Don't you go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guess you know the Awesome Suri Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you about Chase credit card application secrets you must know to get approved the first time around. It's all about getting approved the first time around. I don't want you to have hard pull after hard pull after hard pull after hard pull. No, getting approved right away. The first thing you need to think about, that's the 524. So Chase has a 524 rule, and this is really important to understand what that means and how to play the game. You got to become a better player, boss. It's important, okay? So Chase will not approve you for most of their credit cards if you have opened 5 or more credit cards from any bank within the past 24 months. Any bank, not just Chase. Okay, this is really important. So this is known as the 524 rule. This is not an official rule that Chase has put out there, but everybody agrees. Everybody has seen it. We have seen it time and again. And you have to understand that you really want to be strategic in terms of a plan for credit cards. If you need to evaluate your goals. You need to actually think about whether you're looking for a cashback, you're looking for big bonuses, you are looking for travel goals, whatever it is. Be very careful here, okay? And also, if you have 2 applications in the last 30 days, this will not work. So you can only apply for 1 Chase credit card every 30 days. So if this is your second application in the last 30 days, that's probably why your application was rejected, okay? So be very careful in terms of timing here, okay? We have to be very careful. And after 30 days, you might try applying again, and that could work. And if you have too many new credit cards, this also could be a problem. So Chase most likely will not reverse your denial if you have too many new credit card accounts. Okay, so this is actually this is kind of similar to the Chase 524 rule that I just spoke about. So overall, what I'm trying to say here is that if you want your credit card to be, your Chase credit card application to be approved, make sure that you actually you pay attention to the 524 rule, that you don't have 2 applications in the last 30 days, and you don't have too many new credit cards. Okay, the emphasis here is on new. It's really not worth it. Why are you getting 2 or 3 new credit cards and applying at the same time for a Chase credit card? Take your time, be very strategic here, and you want to wait for the right time to apply for a Chase credit card. Let's talk about the second secret. And this is something that you really have to pay attention to, your FICO score. All right. I mean, Chase is going to do a hard pull anyway. But the thing is that depending on the relationship you have with Chase, they might actually approve you starting at 595, 600, all the way to 700. It really depends on the relationship you have with them and the length of that history. Okay. So when we talk about Chase in general, their credit score requirements are around 700. If you ask anybody, they'll tell you, well, you got to have 700 to qualify, but not really. We have seen it time and again. We have done it for clients. If you have 600, even 580, 595, they will approve you, depending, and I'm very clear here, on the relationship you have with Chase. I'm talking about the length of history, the account that you have with them, the deposits in those accounts. What is your relationship, okay? It also, when we talk about FICO score, we also talk about the age of your credit file. Chances are, if you are a newbie starting at 22 or 25, you will not have a long credit history or a long credit file. So Chase might actually reject you. So you really want to be very careful in terms of applying for a credit card in terms of timing. Okay, if you're too young, if you have let's say a thin credit file, you want to wait a little longer. This is important, okay? And one thing I also want to talk to you about, if you have low credit worthiness in general, let's say you have a low credit score, you have a high debt to income ratio, you have high credit utilization ratio on your current credit cards, or you have a recent charge off for another credit card, this could disqualify you for a Chase credit card. And what we want to pay attention to here are 2 things. We want to pay attention to DTI. Okay, boss, I want you to write it down. This is important. I don't care what anybody else tells you. You got to think about 2 things, your DTI and your CUR. When it comes to Chase credit card applications, you really want to maintain those two metrics as low as possible. Your CUR, your credit utilization ratio, and your DTI, your debt to income ratio. This is important. And the sweet spot for us is 30 to 35%. If you can go lower, you know what? God bless you. It's all about making sure you keep those numbers as low as possible. Okay. And one thing I also want to say here is that Chase is going to look at your application holistically, not just one part, not just another part. They're looking at the whole thing. They're looking at your cash inflows, your direct deposit, your cash outflows, your DTI, your CUR, and so on and so forth. The third secret I want to talk to you about, boss, is your current cards. See, the thing here is that if you already have a lot of credit with Chase, you might be denied. So one thing you want to do is you want to actually be strategic in terms of when you apply for a Chase credit card, make sure that your aggregate, your total credit with Chase is a little low. So remember, Chase is a financial behemoth. They are a national bank. Okay, they provide all kinds of credit products, credit cards, mortgages, auto loans, HELOCs, and so on and so forth. So what is your current situation with Chase? Talk to me about that. And I'm not even talking about things on the business side. Do you have business loans? Do you have business lines of credit? Do you have equipment financing through Chase? So Chase they actually pay attention to the whole aggregate, personally and business wise. Okay, so if you already have a lot of credit with Chase, you really need to bring it down a notch before applying for a credit card. Otherwise, they will actually reject your ass. That's just what it is. Okay, they're trying to actually limit their exposure to you. It's called risk mitigation, default risk mitigation. They're trying to mitigate risk. Okay, if you have lots of inquiries related to credit cards in recent months, this also can have an adverse relationship to your credit card application. Okay, remember, when you apply for a credit card through Chase or another issuer, you authorize Chase to check your credit report, right? So they perform what? A hard pull. They perform a credit inquiry, and this inquiry will post on your credit report. Not a big deal, but if you have a ton of those credit reports or credit inquiry, if you have a lot of credit inquiries, you might actually lose a lot of points. So, I mean, we're talking about what, 5 to 10 points every inquiry, and if you have 5 or 6 or 10, those add up. Okay, let's say if you also have high credit limits on other Chase credit cards. So let's say you're applying for a Chase credit card, but you already have let's say 10 grand on one Chase card. You have 15 grand on another Chase card. Why would they approve you for another card? Especially, and the thing is, it works both ways. First, if those balances are just sitting there and they're not used, then Chase is not going to be, they are going to be very hesitant to give you a new credit card because you already have limits and you're not using. On the flip side, if you have a high credit utilization ratio, in other words, you are actually really high in terms of the limits you have used. Let's say they've given you 10 grand and you have used 9 grand out of that. That's 90% CUR. Why should they give you another credit card? Because they want you to actually bring down the balance on that one first before giving you a new credit card. So it works both ways, and you just want to wait. Now, I want to talk to you about the MPR. And some viewers, whenever we speak about MPR through credit card applications and specifically through Chase credit card applications, people write down, I don't understand why you're talking about MPR. We're speaking about credit. Yeah, well, boss, I'm just telling you, and this is just what it is. You can choose to believe it or not. Really, at this point for our team, we don't care because we have seen this time and again. If you have the right relationship with the bank or credit union, your chances of being approved for a credit product are high. That's just what it is. It has to be a win-win situation, especially if you have a bad credit. Okay, so when we speak about NPR, you want to open a Chase bank account. You can open it at a branch or over the phone or online, but you want to have a Chase bank account. And even if the account, you do not intend to use it actively, you still want to have a Chase bank account. If your goal rather is to get a Chase credit card application approved, okay? Because in the end, there is value in a Chase relationship, really. And we're talking about not just short-term value, but long-term value. And this can actually serve you financially throughout your lifetime. Remember, Chase is a financial behemoth with lots of products, and it is great to build a relationship with them. Okay, really fantastic. And not only that, here is a bank that is well run, a bank that is solid, a bank that you can do everything with. I mean, they provide personal products, they provide personal credit products. Right now, as of the date of this show, they have exited the personal loan space for now. They are just more, and they're doing collateralized loans and credit cards. So they're doing mortgages, they're doing car loans and whatnot, but they're not doing personal loan. They're not doing anything unsecured. But on the business side, they're strong. But we believe that this is temporary, that Chase will come back into the personal space, but they're very strong in terms of credit cards, okay? So you want to have a good relationship with Chase to make sure that you benefit from their credit products. And if you have any issue with, let's say, your Chase credit, let's say you have had in the past Chase credit problems, either through credit cards or through check systems, you want to fix those, because if you keep them, they will not look good on your Chase credit card application, and you might be denied. That's just what it is. I want to talk to you about criteria. So eligibility criteria. So we're still having a conversation about Chase credit card application secrets, okay? And remember that when you fill out a Chase credit card application, you better be really careful. This is why we tell people to go to a Chase branch or to have an application over the phone instead of doing it yourself online, okay? Now, if you do it online, normally the system will prompt you to correct mistakes. But if you do it under the supervision, let's say you fill out a form under the aegis of a Chase credit card rep, you increase your chances of submitting a clean-cut application, okay? Because the rep knows what kind of information is needed, and they will actually direct you. It's important. So if you have, let's say, typos on your credit card application, this could lead to a rejection. Be very careful here. We are speaking about anything regarding your name, the street address, the annual income. This is important. If you have monthly expenses, your mortgage payment amount, because those things Chase can verify anyway. I mean, this is a big bank. All right, your mortgage is public record. They can get that if they want to. Your social security number, that data should be accurate. Okay, remember that when we talk about income requirements for Chase personal credit cards, it really depends. They go from $18,000 to $35,000. Okay, it's really important. And whether you want to have a Chase Sapphire Preferred or Chase Freedom Flex, whatever the card is, you need to understand that there are income requirements. The important thing is that Chase doesn't care a lot about your income. They care about your DTI, your disposable income, your debt to income ratio. How do you handle the cash that is coming in? Okay, are you paying your cash inflows? Are you actually taking a lot of money from your cash inflows and paying debt, or are you saving money? Okay, and also think about the income requirements for Chase business credit cards. So if you are actually applying for a Chase business credit card, they also want to look at your revenue, your business revenue, your sales projections, your statement of cash flows, your balance sheet in general. Okay, they'll pay attention also in some cases to your statement of owner's equity. So they want to see who is behind the company. Okay, but when we speak about revenue, remember, within the business context, revenue is not profit. Okay, revenue is not net income. So you have revenue, and then you have net income, which comes after deducting expenses from your revenue. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Oh,
folks, to another session of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. We're also having a conversation about Chase credit card application secrets, and I want to share with you now something about the application check. Remember that you can actually check your Chase credit card application status online. Okay, so let's say you have approved, you have actually applied, and you have been waiting 24. Because sometimes you apply online and you don't get an approval right away. It might take 2 days or 3 days or a week or whatnot, depending on your location, depending on your financial situation. Okay, and you may not get instant approval, especially when you have questionable approval odds. Okay, so you can go to chase.com. You need to log into your Chase account, and you want to click the drop down menu in the top left corner, and you should be able to see it. It says you want to choose application status from the drop down menu. Okay, so if you really do that, you should be able to see exactly what's happening. They'll let you know, and all the kind of things. And one thing I want to say is that if the application status doesn't make sense, you can try sending a secure message to Chase customer service right from your account. Okay, and their response can provide a clearer picture of how soon you can receive an application decision. Okay, and this is important if you just cannot wait. Okay, or listen, you can call Chase to check your application status. If you can't do it online, just give them a call. Okay, speak with a real person. Sometimes one or two managers will need to review your application. So calling can force the Chase review team to look at your application before others. So it's really possible, and we have seen this time and again, that you can receive an approval decision over the phone. That's what it is. Let me give you an example. Maybe your application was pending because you need to clarify your annual income, your monthly expenses, or desired credit limits. So as an applicant, you may not see why Chase decides to flag your application for further reviews unless you call. This is why it's important to stay on top of your application and to make sure that you call. And that's even the reason why it's just a lot better to apply at a branch or to apply over the phone, so that you answer all those questions even before calling. Okay, and Chase may provide a contact number when you submit your application to call if you have questions. If not, try calling one of these numbers. So for personal credit cards, call 1-800-432-3117. For business credit cards, call 1-888-269-8690. 1-888-269-8690. Before closing today's conversation, let's talk about reconsideration. So the thing here is that you applied and you got denied, and you don't like the decision and you want to reconsider. Well, it is possible. So let's talk about the Chase reconsideration line. So most denied Chase credit card applications come after receiving the message stating that Chase will provide a final decision within 7 to 10 days. Okay, and it really depends on a lot of things, but it could be low income, it could be let's say FICO score being too low, depending on the card that you're applying for. So if Chase denies your application, you can try calling their reconsideration line. So for a personal credit card, the line is 1-888-338-2586. For business credit cards, it is 1-800-453-9719. And please make sure that you call within 30 days of receiving your official notification of denial, because waiting too long means what? It means you will need to submit a new application. That's just what it is. Okay, that means another hard credit pull that can count against you, and you don't want that. So the notice from Chase should actually state a reason why your application did not pass muster. It's really important. So if possible, have any clarifying information ready when you call. Okay, and that's important. So how do you get approved through the reconsideration line? Well, you can actually mention a lot of things. For example, do you have a strong relationship with Chase? You can say, I'm a good Chase customer. I pay all bills on time and in full. I have a Chase bank account. If you have a Chase 2 or 3 bank accounts, that's even better. That's what we were talking about earlier. Trying to establish a solid MPR, having a solid multi-product relationship. Okay, and you can talk about the relationship. You can talk about the trust that you have built over several years with Chase, and they see money coming into the account, okay, you can see, for instance, that I'm looking for a new Chase credit card because I want the sign up bonus. So all of those things, they can help you. Or you want to earn the card perks, you want to get the travel rewards. So all of those things are important that you can mention during the conversation so that you can be reconsidered. Very important. All right, boss. This is it for today's conversation. I was talking to you about Chase credit card application secrets you must know, you must implement so that you are approved the first time around. So we spoke about the 524 rule. We spoke about the FICO score. We spoke about the current cards that you have, the MPR, the criteria, the eligibility criteria, the application check, and most importantly, the reconsideration in case your first try was disapproved. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I will speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.